So Mass Solar Connect, that's what we're talking about today. This is all about information, transparency, putting the power of choice in your hand. We're having great feedback from Mass Energy members who are already participating and other friends. So we're really excited and we're glad that you could join us today. Let's go ahead to the next slide. So our agenda includes introductions, and we'll do a test of the chat function in GoToMeeting. Then we'll quickly review statewide trends and incentives for solar, an overview of the Mass Solar Connect program. Then we'll really drill down and spend most of our time touring the Mass Solar Connect platform and learning more about EnergySage. And finally, we will just touch on how you can get started. Next slide. So this will be a 30-minute webinar followed by question and answer for 15 minutes if anybody's available to has questions. We actually didn't mute everybody. So if you want to ask a question, you can pop up at any time. If there is background noise, we ask that you use *6 to mute your connection. And you can send us questions via chat at any time. That should be in the right-hand box of your screen labeled GoToMeeting, and you can just type in a question. If you want to test that function, you can go ahead and put in your name and the town that you're calling from to show us that you can use that chat function. Next slide, please. There's that red circle shows you where the chat function is. Julia from CCON, hey, welcome. All right, next slide. So I'll introduce myself. My name is Loie Hayes, and I work here at Mass Energy. We're the organization that's doing the outreach for Mass Solar Connect. And I'm really pleased to have an opportunity to learn about EnergySage. I'm so impressed with their operation and really happy that we get to share that with you. Hi, welcome Adam from CCON too. Tess, you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. Yep. Hi, my name is Tess O'Brien. I'm from EnergySage, the online marketplace for solar. We'll get into our marketplace solution a little bit more in a bit, but we are, with this program, Mass Solar Connect, the Mass Energy partner in actually delivering quotes for solar to customers that sign up for the Mass Solar Connect program. And yeah, it's been a delight to work with Mass Energy and Loie, so I'm glad to be here, and I look forward to fielding any questions at the end.
Great. Let's go to the next slide. So, an overview. Mass Solar Connect is sponsored by the Mass Clean Energy Center. It's a quasi-state agency funded in part by our utility bills. They selected Mass Energy and EnergySage to deliver the Mass Solar Connect program. The goal of the program is to get highly competitive pricing for you so that you can put solar panels on your home more affordably. Mass Energy is tasked with the outreach, finding people who need this information and getting them to EnergySage. EnergySage delivers the quote and provides a solar advisor. And as I said, it's a wonderful information resource. Their website is just so full of great information as well, just for general background information. Next slide, please. So Mass Energy, we're a nonprofit. We were founded a long time ago. We're celebrating our 35th anniversary this year. We are pro-consumer, as our name says, Mass Energy Consumers Alliance, and we are pro-environment. We have a green power program. We support energy efficiency. We have a discount heating oil service. That's how we got started. And we've been doing a lot to promote electric vehicles recently. And we are advocates both in Massachusetts and Rhode Island for sustainable and affordable energy. And we're very pleased to have this opportunity to help promote solar. Next slide, please. With Mass Solar Connect. Next slide. So Massachusetts is a super state for solar. As you see, we are ranked #1 in the nation by the solarpowerrocks.com. Hi, welcome, Sally Pick. This is because of our great policy landscape, all sorts of things that we have in place that other states haven't been able to pull together all of these resources that make going solar so easy here. We are one of the fastest growing solar markets in the United States. Lots of people employed in the industry, from salespeople to actual installers, etc. Over 250,000 homes have now gone solar in the Commonwealth. And the payback period, as you see down at the bottom of this slide, is 4 years now. You know, obviously that's an average, but a huge return on investment. If you think about putting that money into, you know, Wall Street instead, you definitely couldn't make that money back. So it's a good thing if you can do it. Why don't we go to the next slide? So the solar, you may have heard that the state incentives for solar are changing. It has been SRECs, Solar Renewable Energy Certificates. That's been the framework that the state uses to incentivize. But it is transitioning to a new program that goes by the acronym SMART. That will be in place early next year. And it changes to be a fixed rate of incentive that declines over time. You know, the SRECs varied, the value of the SRECs varied over time fairly substantially. And so it was, you know, great if you like speculation, but not so great if you need a dependable rate of return. And the SMART takes the risks out of solar investment. And this is, you know, a complex landscape, but EnergySage has done a great job boiling it down to a nice article, and the URL is there on your website, on your screen. You can write that down and read all about it. And if you could forward the slide, Tess. So the Mass Solar Loan is a wonderful program that's been around now a couple of years, but it's a really great program that Massachusetts uses to make solar more affordable for a broader range of income groups. It's for all income levels. You can be a millionaire and still get a Mass Solar Loan. But it has added support for moderate and low-income families. They actually, the program will actually buy down the principal as well as cap the interest rate for moderate and low-income families. So it's a program that we're really happy to support. And it is designed to encourage buying rather than leasing. Leasing was very popular a few years ago, and it's still, there are a lot of people that will sell solar leases, and that may be a fine option for your family, but we've found in general that if you can arrange to buy, and the Mass Solar Loan is a great product for doing that. There are many other financiers as well, and EnergySage has great information about financing. You will actually get more money back. So more of your investment, more of the benefits, financial benefits of solar will stay in your community and in your household if you're able to buy rather than lease. And if you would forward that again, Tess. Mass Solar Connect is the newest thing, and we are looking at independent research has shown savings of 10 to 20% through the competitive bidding that Mass Solar Connect facilitates. So with Mass Solar Connect, with Mass Solar Loan, with the other financing available through EnergySage's platform, and with the state incentives, it is really still a great time to go solar. Next slide, please. So this is just quickly to run you through a case study. It's a lot of numbers, so I'll go through it a little bit slowly. This is on a recent local DEDM installation. It was 30 panels with microinverters, larger than, say, the average home, but they had both the home and the garage that were suitable. The gross cost was a little under $30,000. The tax credits paid almost a third of that, or about a third of that. So that brought the net cost down to a little under $20,000. And then from that net cost, so that's what you would be, liable for. Well, anyway, that would be your out-of-pocket, say. Then the savings on your electric bill for this family is over $1,500, and the sale of their SRECs brought in almost $3,000 per year. So you see that works out to a 4-year, a little bit more than 4-year payback, but about that time. The homeowner writes that they were very happy. They got a Mass Solar loan, and they were very happy. They didn't end up having a lien on the home. The loan was secured just by the solar equipment itself. And it's a 10-year term. So after 10 years, they're going to be completely, debt-free and getting all that benefit without any.
Oops, shake that down.
Yeah. I hear someone speaking. If you could just use *6 to mute your phone if you need conversation, that would be great. Next slide, please. So this is what, if you go to massenergy.org/solar connect, this is the page that you see. All you need to do to get started is to enter your zip code. And that takes you into the EnergySage registration process. This page is hosted on the EnergySage site, and I'm going to turn it over to Tess to let you walk through the EnergySage site.
Great, thanks, Chloe. Everyone hear me okay?
So far we can.
Okay, great. Thank you. So EnergySage, who are we? EnergySage is a Boston-based company that runs a completely vendor-neutral, independent platform. We operate with a formula of objective information, choice, and price transparency to ultimately serve as a consumer advocate during the process of researching and shopping for solar. Loie mentioned the content that we have on our site. That's probably the most comprehensive set of honest, objective educational information that you can find on the web about all aspects of solar, ranging from equipment to choosing an installer to financing options. The marketplace is the online experience where folks can register to request and receive multiple quotes presented in an online dashboard, completely apples to apples, so totally standardized, from vetted pre-screened installers. So in this Mass Solar Connect program, the participating installers, which we have on a slide later, have been screened not only by EnergySage, but also by the MassCEC through a consultant that they hired to do that as well. So rest assured, there are high quality installers who have good experience, reputations, licenses, insurance, certifications, etc., are participating in the program. Lois spoke to this, so I won't belabor it, but NREL, the National Renewable Energy Laboratory, is the entity that did the research validating that consumers typically save 10 to 20% on the cost of going solar. That's kind of the upfront cost using EnergySage. We were originally funded by the US Department of Energy and actually just received word that we're receiving another grant from them shortly. And the MassCEC, their investment arm, is one of our largest shareholders. So with the Mass Solar Connect program, the MassCEC selected us, EnergySage, from a national search as an online provider of comparing solar quotes in a marketplace experience. Our vision is to try to make it as easy to shop for solar as it is to purchase a flight online. Participating installers, I spoke to that, and also the Mass Solar Loan, which Loie went over as well, makes financing more affordable and accessible to a range of folks around the state. So kind of our two core components are the objective information that we're helping people research and learn at their own pace, as well as the comparison shopping experience. And that includes the online experience as well as solar advisors who are experts in solar that are here to help answer questions that customers have throughout their process. So why do we do it this way? Unfortunately, the typical customer experience when exploring solar can be not ideal. There are some solar sales reps out there that utilize high pressure sales tactics and are really trying to convince people to sign a certain deal. And it, results in customers not getting complete, accurate information. And so that's what our model is meant to serve as the antithesis to. We really want to put consumers in the driver's seat and empower them to make an informed decision by accessing real market pricing insights, which is part of the registration process. People will actually see prices that neighbors have been quoted in their neighborhood for solar through our system recently, and providing unbiased support and advice, as well as, of course, savings. You can see Loie here on the roof with a solar project and some colleagues. Pretty nice shot there. So how does it work? Pretty simple three-step process. First, homeowners or property owners, this can also be for the smaller commercial buildings or nonprofit or religious institutions as well. So folks create a property profile, which takes just a few minutes, including their address, dropping a pin on the roof, estimating how much they spend on electricity, and setting any preferences that they have, either for solar, like they want US-made panels, or for communications, such as I don't want any phone calls. That's a capability that we support. People can go through this process without having anyone call them. The second step is that solar installers take a look at the property and submit a custom quote through our platform to deliver their proposed pricing and package for equipment and financing to the customers. We then display that on our dashboard and help the customers compare those quotes side by side in a number of ways. It's worth noting in step one here, for folks that do not own the property or can't put panels on their roof, we do have alternate options for them, including community solar. So this screen is the first step to register. You start by putting in your zip code, and then you'll see the different dots for quotes that people have received. The data down at the bottom of the screen will change as you click from one of the filled in circles to the next. So I encourage everyone to try this out. It's pretty neat. And then you go ahead and just enter your address and your first, last name, and email. Put the PIN on your roof, estimate your monthly electric bill, and verify your email is really all it takes to get started. There are optional preferences that you can set, as I mentioned, including contact preferences. In addition to giving folks the option to not include a phone number, we do anonymize everybody's email address. And so we've got a message system that works similar to LinkedIn, where an installer can send a message to a customer through our system. The customer will receive that in their email inbox, and it's logged in our system. But the installer doesn't see the customer's actual email address. It's kind of randomized like Craigslist. Once customers receive their quotes, they show up in a view like this. We call this the baseball card view, but each quote has their own little rectangle here with top level information related to that quote, including the installer, some high level stats, important metrics about the solar system that they're proposing for this customer, the equipment, the payback period, loan information, and then customers can favorite the quotes that they're most interested in to compare side by side. It's also worth noting that we've got these different tags on each quote here. We've done this as a way to help customers really understand how these quotes compare overall, right? So we've got some marked as the best value, some have the highest quality equipment, or the solar installer that has the best review rating, etc. Customers can also sort these quotes over here, either by, which quote has the greatest percent of my electricity needs met, which quote has, please sort by the ones I've favorited or what time they came in. I want to see the first one I received up at the top, etc. And then so when customers favorite quotes, then they can compare them in the side-by-side format. And the beauty of that is that it allows people to really select the ones they want to dig deeper into. So we're right here looking at 3 different quotes, and there's 4 sections. So there's a summary of kind of all the most important information related to this quote, just right at the top. There's also a section of information on the installer, a section on the equipment, including the panels as well as the inverters, and then of course costs and benefits. So what are the economics? What does the payback look like? How much will I save? What is this going to cost me out of pocket, etc. So while we've created an experience that is really ideal for consumers, we also wanted to make sure that it serves installers as well. So typically installers struggle to acquire customers at reasonable costs, and they have a hard time competing. They're also not necessarily experts in sales and marketing, and so that's where we come in. We provide them an effective sales channel, a way to connect with customers that want solar and are educated about solar. Our solar advisor team also helps the installer through the process to make sure that they're successful as well, and that they are able to get new customers at a pretty cost-effective rate that's standardized across solar installers. So it democratizes the opportunities for installers, meaning that a smaller installer will compete on equal footing with some larger installation companies. It's worth noting, however, that EnergySage typically works with the more local and regional installers. We're active in 35 states plus DC, and that's the case around the country in those markets, where we work with over 450 different installers. We do pre-screen them. Here's a list of the criteria. I won't read this since I've already spoken to it, but you can see some of that criteria that's on this list here. These are the solar installation companies that have been vetted through both EnergySage and the MassCEC for participating in this program, the Mass Solar Connect program that we're doing with Mass Energy. Just pause for a second so folks can skim this list before I move on. Okay, So that is the scoop on EnergySage and our solar marketplace. We've been featured in a lot of media outlets around the country and are highly regarded by folks in the industry as kind of the go-to vendor neutral, trusted resource for honest solar information and an easy online experience to compare multiple options. We also work with a whole range of organizations, including nonprofits, such as MassEnergy, a range of state agencies like MassCEC and the Connecticut Green Bank, NYSERDA as well, utility companies, corporations, towns. We've got a program running with both the City of Cambridge and Melrose, as well as a handful of other entities around the country as well. So I think that wraps the presentation. You know, our mission right now is to get the word out and encourage as many folks as possible to sign up to start exploring their solar options, which can be done at massenergy.org/solarconnect. Loie?
Yeah, and we're happy to take questions now. I see that Sally wrote in, what is the cost to the customer? Do you want to take that one, Tess?
Sure, happy to. So the cost to the customer to use this system to get quotes and compare them is zero. There is no cost to the customer except for, of course, the cost of whatever solar solution they decide on. So if they decide to, you know, make a cash purchase for a solar system, the customer would sign a contract directly with the installation company that they chose and pay the installer. They're also, the same is true if they've chosen a loan option, etc. Every customer receives different quotes, and that's because it's customized to the customer's property and the amount of electricity that they use. If folks are curious about the typical costs, I would encourage you to go to the website and enter your zip code to see what folks in your area have been quoted for solar.
Thanks. And Terry asks, is the program suitable for adding panels to an existing system?
Great question. Yes, that can certainly be achieved through this system. When you sign up, there's an opportunity to write notes about your preferences. I would encourage you to mention that you already have some panels, but you're looking to add more, and include in that notes section any specifics about what you're looking for or how big your system currently is and what % of your electricity usage it meets. Our solar advisor team will reach out to you because they'll see that you have panels on your roof. And so they'll ask for a little bit more of that information to make sure that we can pass that along to installers and make sure that they understand that you're looking to supplement what you already have.
Great. And the next question is, EnergySage charges a fee for their services, but how does the customer see that fee?
Yes, so we charge fees to the installer, and the installer fees are standardized across the board. It's worth noting that you know, I suppose the fee shows up in the cost to the customer that the installer quotes, which is the case whenever an installer provides a quote for a customer through any channel, whether it's our website or direct to customers on their own through their own marketing. So it's worth noting our fees to installers are pretty cost effective and reasonable, meaning that they typically end up paying less when they get customers through EnergySage than they do directly or through other marketing channels.
So just to be clear, there is no cost to you know, if you want to sign up at EnergySage, you never pay any money to EnergySage. This is your use of EnergySage is free to you. Obviously, the installer has to pay a fee to EnergySage to be registered on their site. So there is some overhead that they build into their quote. But as Tess points out, their overhead for using EnergySage is actually less than their overhead that they would use to reach you without EnergySage. So it shouldn't raise the overall cost of your quote.
Right.
Julia asks, are the costs of the system and the cost of the installation separate?
No, you would sign one deal for, unless you choose a financing provider separately, which is not that common. The installer would charge you for the cost of the system, and it's all going to go through them.
Great. And Terry asks, what percentage of installers are in the program? At least I believe that that's your question, Terry. If I got it wrong, please write in a new question. Tess, do you have any idea of how many installers there are in Massachusetts?
Ooh, good question. In Massachusetts, I don't know. I'm not sure about that.
Or scores, if not hundreds?
Yes, I know that. I would say at least in the many dozen, if not in the hundreds, probably in the low hundreds. And we have 20 really qualified installers participating in this program.
And could you talk a little bit about community solar, please?
Sure. So community solar, for those of you who are not familiar with it, it is a great option that allows people to support solar by signing up for a portion of a larger solar project that's located in their region. Meaning you're not going to put panels on your own property, but you're going to buy into a larger solar project, and you'll get some of the benefits of that, including having an environmental impact, as well as achieving some savings on your electric bill. So you would sign up for an option that connects to your electric bill, and also therefore delivers a slight savings on the cost of your electricity, which is typically 5 to 10% right now. We're seeing more and more community solar options be offered, and 10% is about the savings that you can achieve, but it's a wonderful way to have an impact and support solar if you can't put panels on your property. Our website has more information on community solar, so you can learn more, and it also lists different options that you can sign up for based on where you live. Which options are available to you varies quite a bit, but we do list a number of options in Massachusetts.
Yes, and specifically about the net metering caps, those have generally been lifted, is that right, Tess? So the net metering caps are
Yes, I believe so. Yeah,
solar.
Yes, I believe that's right. Community solar is expected to grow, and more projects will come online. There are different caps, as Lois speaking to, based on the different type of solar system, but there's a lot of potential for community solar.
The one limitation is kind of the price of land and the availability of large tracts of land. Community solar generally requires, a large physical space, and in eastern Massachusetts we don't have a lot of cheap open land, and community solar is generally only available in the region where the solar field is actually located. So there aren't as many options in eastern Massachusetts. Are you aware of any in eastern Massachusetts now, Tess?
I believe there's one in southeastern Massachusetts that serves kind of more of like the South Shore region. It gets in the weeds, but it's called load zone within a utility territory. Lois is correct that the project needs to be sited in the same load zone or kind of geographic portion of that utility's territory in order for the customer to sign up for it. And that's the biggest limiting factor. The availability of land in the greater Boston area for these projects is so limited that we see very few community solar projects in the greater Boston area.
Great. Tess, is there one more slide that has our contact information on it?
Yes, there it is.
Great.
Yep, this is where you can reach both of us.
So if there are no more questions at the moment, please.
I have one question.
Oh, yes,
No, I have-
please.
For those of us that aren't fortunate to live in the state of Massachusetts, is EnergySage available to those, for instance, in New Hampshire?
Yes, we are operational in New Hampshire, so you can use our system there. Just go right to energysage.com and we can help you. You can